Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Success Art Show. Every artist was selected tonight's show based on their talent, dedication, and their craft. We believe that you and your work will be a great community and a great journey. Please join me in congratulations for Los Angeles artists.
Good evening and welcome, folks. My name is Rachel Wilkins. I am thrilled to welcome you this evening to the fall edition of Conception Art Show. We are delighted to be here. We have some incredible artists exhibiting with us tonight, and we cannot wait to show you the work. We can't wait for you to meet all of our wonderful artists, get to know them a little better, and hopefully motivate you to purchase or invest in some artwork this evening. So just a few little notes about how the evening is going to run. So we're going to be getting a little preview in a few moments of our virtual gallery, which is our exclusive gallery that you can take a walk around virtually. Obviously, we're still not quite back in person, but you're going to have access to our virtual gallery in a few minutes. There will be a link in the chat. And we're also going to be able to share the video of the gallery with you as well, where you can browse one image from each of our exhibitors this evening. Then for the next 2 hours, we're going to look at each individual artist's work, learn a little more about them individually, what motivates them, what inspires them. And then at the end of the evening, we're doing things a little bit differently. At the end of the evening tonight, we will be presenting 3 awards tonight. So we are going to be giving an award for excellence, which, as many of you know, is not just bragging rights. This award is a beautiful award, first of all. Looks very good on your shelf in your art studio. It looks just like this. But it also shortlists the artist for our annual residency giveaway. We've been sending one artist to the Chateau Orquevaux in France each year, up until COVID, obviously. And we want to do that again. So we're going to be shortlisting one artist tonight for that prestigious art residency. In addition to the award for excellence tonight, we're also going to be giving away an audience award. Now, that's where you guys come in, because we are looking for your help voting for the artist that you love, the artist whose work has blown you away this evening. What I want you to do is to vote for that artist in the comments. Now, it's going to be hard because there is a lot of incredible work tonight. I know I'm a little biased because I've had my eyes on everything already, but I will say some really fabulous work tonight. One of the best things that you can do for our community tonight is to vote for the artist that you love the most. So all you need to do is to put the word vote and the artist's name. Now, no cheating. We had a couple of people the last couple of shows try to vote multiple times. We love your enthusiasm. We love that you are supporting these amazing creatives, but we are only going to take one vote per person. So do with that what you will, folks. We are excited. We cannot wait for you to really just experience this evening with us. These shows are always such a pleasure. It's an incredible way for us to connect with our community, and it's an incredible way for us to bring their creativity into your living rooms. So let's get on with things. What I'm going to do first of all, folks, is I'm going to share with you our virtual gallery, which is just opened this evening. And then we're going to chat with one of our awesome exhibitors right after this little break. All right, folks. So our first artist this evening is the wonderful Nolan Hersley. Nolan is returning. He is a Conception Arts alumni. A little bit about Nolan. Nolan was born in 1980 in Evanston, and he started drawing at an early age. As a child, he never thought that he would be an artist. He thought that he was going to be an astronaut. So we've got lots of questions about that. And he is largely self-taught until college. Nolan went to the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, where he graduated in 2005. And he received a drawing certificate in 2009. And he now spends his time drawing mostly from home. So we have the pleasure to actually get to hear from Nolan tonight. Nolan is going to join me right now on the live stream. So welcome, Nolan.
Hi.
Hey, Nolan, how are you? It's good to see you.
Good. You too. I was just making sure I wasn't mute. You can hear me, right?
No, we can hear you. Hopefully everybody else can hear you as well.
Okay.
So how are you doing, Nolan? I see you've been really busy. Oh, I think we might have a slight delay. We'll get there. So Nolan, last time you were here, you actually won the artist grant, which was a $250 artist grant. And you promised that you were going to get to work with that grant, and you have not disappointed, because I've seen a lot of activity on your Instagram account. We've got some new work from you tonight. So tell us a little bit about what you've been up to. Did we lose you, Nolan? Oh,
am I here? Am I here? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was making a piece about tattoos with the money mainly. I just invested in some better supplies. I tend to just kind of find what I already have in like office quality materials, which aren't so good. So I invested in some like pastel papers that, look better. But I still use white paper with the grant money. But I just thought this idea of people who have like these incredibly elaborate tattoos would be an interesting idea for a piece. And that's mainly the piece I made with the money. It was like, it was hard to make at first because I didn't exactly know how to integrate everything, but I think it turned out all right. You saw it right on Instagram. It's like a torso with all of these different, it's like a saint and like a man with a beard's face. Just the whole body is pretty much covered, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. And now I don't think it's in your selection of work that we're going to see tonight, but
maybe
we can talk.
I just thought it was earlier. I did it earlier, so I wasn't sure if I should show it or not. But it's on the Instagram page.
Well, we're excited to see what you have going on tonight, and obviously it's always a pleasure to have you here, and it's great to have you kick off this evening. Tell us, we're all still in this moment right now where, as artists, we've been in like everybody else, we've been in lockdown. Not a lot of shows are coming back up. How are you kind of finding the COVID restrictions? Are you finding that you're more creative during this time, less creative? What are you feeling?
I feel that in a sense, this format for me is better because of the kind of narration quality. Like I get a lot of time to talk about my work to everyone. And when you're kind of at an in-person show, you kind of talk, person to person. But here I feel like I have sort of a venue to kind of like do a commentary. I mean, I like the opportunity to have more time to speak kind of to everyone, as opposed to waiting for people to ask me things or just, having people come by, but maybe not ask about the work. At least have a good format here to talk about it.
And I think that's something that, people are often intimidated at shows. I've seen it, before through our multiple exhibits where they're afraid to go and ask the artist questions because they think perhaps the artist doesn't want to be asked questions, that they want the work to speak for itself. But how do you feel?
I don't want people to be intimidated, but they are. And I think part of it is they think that I'm going to give them a pitch this can be had for, 2 payments of $89. And, they're like, I don't want to buy, I think there's some pressure where they're like, if I start talking to the guy, do I have to buy something? And, maybe they're not ready. They don't have the money. But here it's more just like, well, I can just hear what he has to say. And I don't have to worry about like easy installments of payments or, trying to stretch out 3 or 4 payments to buy a piece. I'm not very good at the business part of art. I'm terrible at it.
Well, let's
I mean,
just
I'm still afraid to give prices to people. I don't want it to seem too high, but
definitely
I
that's where you have me, Nolan, to come in and say, yes, Nolan is on point with everything he's saying, but one thing is Nolan's work is for sale, folks. So do support.
oh
I'll be your
yeah.
advocate right now if you don't want to talk about sales. And this is a good
No,
point.
no, I don't mind. I just think maybe sometimes in the gallery setting, people like they might not see a price and they're like, well, maybe if I talk to the artist, I'll find out what the price is and it's too much. I mean, I don't think that's the only thing.
Right.
I've had lots of experience where people just want to know about the work, and maybe if they're a little more fearless, they do just ask really what it's about.
Right.
So it's not always being like intimidated about having to buy, but that does play into it, I think. They're not
Definitely.
sure if they are ready to make that investment or not. And here they can more just hear my thoughts. So
And people, we have
free of charge.
free of charge. Absolutely. That is one thing that we are loving about these shows, is that we can come right into your living room, give you a free art experience, folks. Nobody has to
Yeah.
leave the house. You can attend in your pajamas with your coffee or your glass of wine or whatever it is you're interested in
Your
consuming.
cat, like Shepherd came by the other time in the other
That's
show.
right.
He made
Yeah.
an appearance.
For anyone who's not familiar with these shows, we have had a couple of animal appearances. Shepherd is the cat. He has appeared live in these settings before, so don't be surprised if you see any animals in the background.
He had a good cameo. It was cute seeing him come by. It adds a kind of intimacy because you're talking about the COVID kind of the at home nature, and that definitely having our pets kind of come by the camera makes it clear that we're at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at home,
But I have been thinking that. Sorry.
No, please go ahead.
I have been thinking that with these shows, it's a good opportunity to get a lot of my ideas across that people like they might not ask about it, but I have a chance to talk about it more. I'm kind of thinking if we go back to in-person shows, I'm not really going to have this format to really narrate, and I want to appreciate it while I have it.
I think that it's here to stay, even when we do go back. I think there's such a desire for this format from artists, from people who enjoy art shows. I think the desire is going to remain even when we can go back in person. So I hope to be able to always provide that platform, going forward. So Nolan, while we have you,
Did Conception do an in-person show? Did they do an in-person show?
We've done over 100 in-person shows. Yeah. Yep.
No, but like lately, did they do one lately, like a new one?
No.
Oh, okay.
We thought about it, but then it was just too much. People are not quite ready, so we're on hold till 2022. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's look at some artwork. That's why we're all here tonight. I want to share your work, Nolan, and while I have you, I'd like to get your take on some of these new pieces. So, bear with me 1 second, and we're going to get the slideshow up. Okay. All right. Okay.
I'm sorry that I was rambling so much.
You're not rambling.
You're
never
a lot.
You're great. You're absolutely wonderful.
I'm trying to stay on point. So
doing awesome. All right. So let's take a look at this work. This, folks, is Nolan Hersley, and tell us about this work, Nolan. This is really beautiful, and this is a change of direction in color for you. So tell us what was happening.
Well, I was drawing a portrait of a friend of our family's granddaughter, and I kept wanting to, because in the photo there's like a very significant shadow on her face, and I made a portrait for them, but it just seemed like every time I put the shadow in, it just added too much of like a psychological element, like it seemed too dark, and I couldn't get around that. So when I gave them the portrait, it doesn't have that massive shadow on her face, but to me it looks entirely different without it. I think it looks more powerful with it myself. It makes it seem less happy, I would argue, but the one that I gave didn't have the shadow and I guess more cheery, but I personally like this one more. And it just seems like, to me, it made me think of maybe the Jungian idea of this dual nature, like you can't get rid of your shadow, or your shadow is an indicator of something dark within you that's inescapable. And I have a feeling that the people I would give the drawing to would think this one is kind of like weird, disturbing. So I thought, well, this one is not going to work from like a presentation format, but me as my own work, I really like it, and it's got a lot of hues of kind of ultramarine, some Prussian blue. It's just it's me sort of gradually trying to work in color. I don't really. I've been told actually by teachers not to work in color because they thought my work was stronger just in black and white. But just trying to venture into color somewhat.
Tell us about the media here, because I'm looking at this and I feel like I see pen work, I see what looks like watercolor. There's almost looks like a digital element at the bottom here. Can you talk to us a little about your process?
Yeah, it's mostly pen and ink, and then some like very flat like computer color. But I didn't really want it to look too much like it was made by a computer. I hope it doesn't.
No,
I
no.
can't, I'm not sure. I mean, I wanted the computer to be a tool, but not sort of the piece, not like the whole sum of the piece. Like, oh, that looks like something somebody did on a computer.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like clicking very flat patches of color, because I tend to use color really flat anyway, and I'm not confident in color, so it's like a good way to just use a little bit of the digital color here and there. Mostly it's pen and ink. And I work like, I make copies and work into the copies, so you get kind of a couple generations where you get these weird effects where some of the blue is like faded out more, and some of it is stronger. I'm kind of just learning on the job. I don't really have like a hard and fast system. I actually feel like I should know more concretely how I work, but I want it to be open what I'm doing. I don't want to like think like I have to make a piece this way. Like it has to start this way. I don't really know. I like not knowing what's going to happen.
I kind of feel like it's an exploration of your materials and tools, and an excavation of your ideas. And I love that you're experimenting. I think we're always experimenting as artists, and I think that's the beauty of it. That's kind of that childlike curiosity that we have, that enables us to be able to do that. And I loved seeing this piece from you, Nolan, because it has these other dimensions to it, and it's great to see you progressing and the work getting even better. So this is absolutely one of my favorite works from you to date. Let's take a look at some of the other works you've shared with us tonight. So tell us about this one.
This one's good. It's a little different than the previous.
Time for Halloween.
Yeah, I was thinking it's like a little ghoulish, and it is this time of year. This one had sort of a strange start, because I was thinking I used to see this therapist once, which probably isn't surprising given this piece, with, a severed head on a table. But it wasn't so much, we weren't talking about that, but we were talking more about, I was talking about how it seems like in therapy they're almost like fixing, like they're like, it's like a mechanic putting like wires into a brain that needs like repair. And that started the piece, and I thought, wouldn't it be odd to like manipulate a head with wires? And I mean, maybe that's just me being like extremely weird and just having odd notions. But I thought it's like, well, how can we make the brain better this way? Like, how can we make him happier this way? Like, do we just pull on wires to make him better? And I guess it started as a joke, but then I tried to like really think of it as a piece. Like, I mean, I don't know why the head is like off the body, but I mean, it's almost just like, there's this idea that emotions are messy, or that getting better in analysis is a mess. And I kind of combine that with like a Romero zombie Holocaust sort of sensibility. I don't know. For a long time, I was trying to draw really, really ugly faces, and I never really succeeded. And I would argue that this one is pretty ugly. And it kind of reminds me of my own face, that I don't think I really look much like that, but I've definitely made that expression. It's kind of like a wry, almost like, oh, is that so kind of look. Like, really, that's what you think about me? I mean, I sound ridiculous, but I've definitely looked that way when I've been kind of sassing people, or giving somebody some lip or something. I wouldn't say it's like self-portraiture, although it kind of is. Um, and there's a little thing about the eyes where like my eyes are kind of like I always think they look sort of sunken, and I guess I was trying to find a way to sort of horrify and caricature maybe my own insecurities about my face. So there's a lot of weird things going on, and this could be an example where I'm more interested maybe in what other people would think if they hadn't like talked to me about it, if they just saw it, and what would they think? You know, because I could offer what I think, but I always like to think like, what if somebody know prior information, like how would they interpret it?
Well, let's ask the audience. I know they heard a little bit of a snippet there, but folks, if you have any feedback on this piece of Nolan's, not criticism. Let's be really clear here. We're not asking you to critique on anything. This is not a critique zone. We have other platforms where you can do that. If you're invited to do that. But what we're looking for here is like, what is your interpretation? Because so much of art is about what the viewer experiences. So what are you feeling? What are the sensibilities that you're getting from this piece and the previous piece and just Nolan's work in general? We would love to hear. It's so helpful for us as artists to hear different perspectives. So
I know, because sometimes it might mean, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, your perspectives on your work, they're really fascinating.
Well, thanks. But sometimes it's like, I feel like somebody could see something, maybe not this piece, but maybe the prior piece, and it could have all of this range of ideas for them that I would never even think of. And I find that interesting. Like they might see it and have all of this insight that would never occur to me. And then they hear what I say, and it's like kind of a letdown. Like, oh, but because like I had all these other ideas. You know, I almost wish they could hold on to theirs and not be too swayed by mine.
Right.
You know.
Well, as a wise woman once told me, what other people think about me is none of my business. So,
yeah, I actually heard that. I heard someone say that lately. That is a saying. Okay, yeah. They said it was an old saying.
Yep.
Right.
So let's take a look at this final piece of yours that this is again using these new colors, these different elements. This almost looks like a what am I trying to say? Like a collage to me. Like it has collage elements, a collage feel to it. Can you talk us through this a little?
Yeah, I mean, it started as like, I think I actually submitted this face years ago to one of our shows, but it kind of got lost in the shuffle. But I brought it back and just worked on it more. And I used the computer on the neck to kind of flatten it. Well, that's why it looks like a cutout rectangle almost. It's like the computer is so it can be so flattening. But I worked into it and added like digital color, mostly on the face, because I wanted to make it less blurred and more distinct, have it pop more. So that's like a combination of a lot of ink and copying, working in layers, and then using a little computer color at the end to kind of punch up the color a little bit. It's just this thing called Paint 3D where you just drop and click. I mean, I don't even know if I'm supposed to be using it, but it seems to help my style okay. And then the rest is mostly pen and ink. I was
just going to ask, what do you enjoy and what do you dislike about the digital medium?
I don't know. I mean, I like it because it's new. I guess it's not a great reason, but to me, it's new. And I don't know. It makes it oddly fake in a way that the more hand drawn elements don't have that. It just looks computerish, but not necessarily in a bad way to me. I've never really tried digital methods of anything, and it's not something I really know a lot about. It's mostly experimental. I just got depressed having too much black and white in my work, and people were like, "Well, I want you to stay doing that," and this definitely pushes the notion that I need to I could think more about infusing it with color more. So I've definitely been hesitant to use color most of the time.
Well, I really enjoy this direction that you're taking, Nolan, and I'm excited to see what you do next, and just really see this work develop as you excavate these ideas. And I think it's great to experiment with new mediums. I was always a little resistant of digital expression myself, but It's here to stay. We're moving forward. You know, a lot of people rejected digital photography when that first came around, and look at where we're at creatively with that today. It's really an incredible resource. So again, thank you, Nolan. Always good to see your face. And let me just, there we go. Folks, if you're interested in, learning more about Nolan, purchasing any of his beautiful work, or just having a conversation about art, follow Nolan. His social media links are in the chat. You can go find out more information about his work. And obviously, if you see something you want to take home with you, do hit up Nolan and let him know. Nolan, you want to leave us with any final thoughts this evening?
I just hope I haven't sounded like an idiot, to be honest. I don't know. I've been kind of sorry I've been cutting you off so much. I just I don't know.
It's not your fault. You have a delay, so it's not you.
Oh, okay. Well, I would just say that I'm not necessarily sure if I'll always be incorporating anything digital, but it's just something I'm doing now. But I may go back to another method that would be more traditional, which is just pen and ink. But I guess we'll see about that.
All right.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure, Nolan, and we look forward to keeping up with what you do next.
Okay, thanks.
Bye for now. All right, folks. So that was the wonderful Nolan, the first artist to kick us off this evening. We do have a couple of live appearances from artists tonight. So you are in for a treat. You are going to get to hear firsthand from the artists about their inspiration, their ideas, what they're going to be doing next, and obviously how you can purchase their work, which is something super exciting. So again, just a reminder, we do have some awards that we're going to be giving away this evening. So in addition to getting a wonderful art show, being able to actually purchase from these artists, you have the opportunity to really level up their careers, or at least help them to level up their careers. These awards are not only great for bragging rights, they look fantastic in the artist studio. They absolutely open doors for our creative community. Being an award-winning artist goes a long way. We're going to be hearing in a couple of weeks from some of our award winners about the experience of actually getting these awards and what kind of doors it opened for them. I can tell you there's been plenty of amazing stories in that department. But also, as I mentioned earlier, these awards, the person who wins the award for excellence tonight, they will actually be shortlisted for our annual residency prize. That is 2 weeks of creating in France an incredible chateau. It is a once-in-a-lifetime prize. We've sent 2 artists so far over the last couple of years who've had just an amazing experience. So again, remember, you have the power to vote tonight. Get your artist's name in the comments with the word vote. And even better, if you can click the share button right below this video, let your friends and followers know on Facebook or on YouTube or wherever you share the link for this video. Let them know who you're supporting and ask them to vote too. You know, one of the most powerful things that we can do for our artist friends, other than buying their artwork, is to like and share their posts. You never know who may purchase artwork. So something that takes you 5 seconds to do can be incredibly beneficial for your artist friends. So we have another guest joining us right now. I see he just popped into the studio. We have the awesome Ron Smith. He's just getting ready. I'm going to give him 2 minutes to adjust his camera. All right, here we go, Ron. What's up, Mr. Ron Smith? How you doing?
Sorry. Hey, Coach.
How you doing?
I'm good. What's going on?
Oh, well, welcome. It's always good to see you, Ron. You know that. You're always a joy and a pleasure to hang out with. So I'm glad you were able to join me this evening.
It's weird because both times I've had to join you, I'm actually at church getting ready for rehearsal. So I'm taking a break from the drums right now to do this.
That's fantastic. Well, we'll try not to keep you too long because I know you got some responsibilities there. But Ron, we are going to look at your work, but you know, you are somebody who is a multi-talented individual, human, all-around good guy. Tell us a little bit about your backstory. Give our viewers, perhaps somebody who's not familiar with your story, give them a little information about you and your work.
My work kind of, as I tell Rachel all the time, it jumps all over the place. But my background is really in graphic design. but I actually had art classes and had some inspiration from junior high and high school that put me into the realism phase, which is what you saw last time, and to the abstract phase, which is what you'll see tonight. But my background is in graphic design, but I've had some challenges with that. For those of you who don't know, I broke both of my wrists on a motorcycle some uh, 30, it's 25 years, 26 years ago this year. And so my journey back to art has been arduous to say to say the least, but my son is my inspiration. Austin came to visit with me for 2 years and went to school. And when he lived here with me, he's an illustrator. He's actually part of the Conception Arts team also. So he actually encouraged me to start painting again. And I did that about 7 years ago at the insistence of him. He said, "Dad, you should paint again." So a friend of mine who may be on this call, Henry Price, heard me say that. And the next day he had brushes, paint, and canvas and said, "Okay, you have no excuse." So that's how I ended up painting again. But during that, after my motorcycle wreck, which is what Rachel wants me to say sometimes, is that after breaking both wrists, I didn't know if I'd paint again. I didn't know what I would do again with my house. At the time, I was doing graphic design full time, and now I'm full-time graphic design during the day, and I'm full-time artist at night. So what you'll see is me going back and forth from rural to abstract, but it's what I do in my peacetime, which is at home, that I paint. So I'm just glad to be painting again.
You know, when Ron and I go way back, we met at one of the in-person shows, but Ron is a member of Art Business Bootcamp, which is my coaching program. And when Ron came into the program, I thought, oh, this is going to be a challenge for me, because one of the first things I say to artists is you need to pick a style, you need to pick a niche, and you need to just focus on that and develop your ideas. And here comes Ron with two totally different styles of artwork. And I'm like, I don't know how we're going to make this work. He's going to need to bring these two styles together. And Ron has proved me wrong, absolutely proved me wrong, that you can have these two paths that are very different, you'll see tonight, the work is extremely different to what he's doing with his rural work. This kind of more traditional rural paintings versus these very expressive abstract works. But Ron makes it work. Ron has these two very enthusiastic groups of collectors that enjoy both parts of his work. Now, Ron, I am always curious, and obviously I know a lot about you at this point, but I would love for you to share this with our community, especially those who are not creatives. How do you switch that creative brain from music to, because you're a drummer, to creating rural works to creating abstract works? Is there something that kind of just clicks in your brain and is like, today is, I'm going to throw paint around in the studio? What does that process look like?
It's really determined by my mood that day. And based on that mood is the music I play. I never paint. I don't do graphic design without music. So I paint and design by music. So the music sometimes dictates that. But I encourage people who do what we do creatively in the art world, any creative space, is that what I try not to do is force myself to do something that I may mess up, because I found myself a couple of times getting gesso and covering up the whole canvas, and that's starting all over. And you really don't want to do that. So I encourage people to rest and make sure that they're taking care of their mental state, because it will force you to do things, especially when you're working on commissions, to do things that you really don't want to do, and you're forcing yourself. So I tend to make sure I stay back from pieces. Even in my graphic design, I'll back up from it. But when I'm doing my painting, I'm usually working on I'm working on abstract and rural at the same time. Not interchangeably, but from day to day or night to night or week to week. I don't do them at the same time, but I have one of them always moving in a direction of completion in both genres. So I'm able to compartmentalize. When I hit the door, I have to shut down, turn off my graphic design brain, and go to my either rural or abstract. But if you pay close attention to some of my abstract work, well, the rural too, you'll notice some very structural likenesses in how I paint. You'll see some graphic design balances in that. So I've kind of managed to marry them together without really being mindful of it. It just kind of happened that way. But I also make sure that when people are interested in rule, there's a story I tell them, and there's another story I tell people who I know may be more abstract minded. So I encourage people to find a coach that can kind of coach them through that and make sure that they have what we call our 20-second, 15-second elevator speech. And this is really has helped me to be able to transition from a particular collector who likes rule versus somebody who might like abstract, because those people very seldom buy the other things. So I'm able to do that based on my story. So I introduce that art based on the person I'm talking to. So I encourage you to what they need, and then you respond accordingly.
You know, I love what you said, Ron, right at the beginning there about rest, about how important it is, because I think often as creative people, we go to the creative place, we go to the studio or pick up the camera or go to the canvas, whatever it is, as a form of like almost like therapy, right? It's a form of expression where we can just kind of switch off the noise. But there is also that pressure, you know, and one of the things that I've learned over the years is that there is a certain amount of time that you have to take to just become, right? To just have the ideas and let them come to you. And that is a practice that takes time, because I think in this kind of culture that we exist in today, where everything is so fast, is this hustle culture that we need to get as many ideas out as possible, that we don't stop, we don't pause to actually let those ideas come. What does relaxing look like to you, Ron? And where do you think your ideas come from?
Amazing. My ideas, and I can look at angles. When I'm doing other things, I grew up as a young child in the South, family of 8 children and parents, and so that rule stuff came from that. But also a lot of the abstract stuff comes from that too, because I see things abstractly from a realistic standpoint. So my brain is wired to see something real and make it abstract, and vice versa. So it's kind of how I'm wired. But I make sure I don't cross paths with each. That when I'm doing rule, I do rule. When I'm doing abstract, I do that, because you do too much, and you'll be able to tell that in your finished work.
Ron, we're just having some issues with your audio. Oh.
Things around me. I take pictures of those things. Who travel. So I saw this barn, and they'll actually take a picture and just send it to me. So some of my subject matter doesn't around rule.
I think I'm not sure we're getting Ron back. Ron, it is your audio is coming in and out. I'm going to try and disconnect you and get you back on, but you may just want to check your Wi-Fi. Let's try that again. Wouldn't be a Conception Art Show without a technical glitch, folks, so bear with us. Mr. Ron, can you hear us? Let's try this again. Ron, if you're able to hop back in, I'm going to kick you from the studio. If you can hop back in, that would be great. Folks, in the meantime, we are going to take another look at our beautiful, beautiful virtual gallery. Take a look around, see if there's any artwork that you are interested in, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back, folks. We are going to get moving and look at some more artwork. We hope to get Ron back so we can take a look at Ron's artwork with Ron actually telling us about the work. Hopefully we can resolve those little tech issues that are happening. But in the meantime, we are going to look at the wonderful Michelle Mary Capizzi. We're going to take a look at her work in just 1 second, if you bear with me, folks. We are going to get Michelle's work going right now. All right. Okay, folks. So this is the first work by Michelle. A little bit of information about Michelle. Michelle Capizzi is a contemporary abstract painter. Her paintings engage viewers into conversation. Now, every painting that she creates tells a story, has its own energy, and is deep in layers. Often her conversation is on the energy of renewal, pondering the beat that happens when connecting to the muse that sets us free. So this is the first piece that we're looking at by Michelle. As a reminder, folks, if you see anything here that is exciting to you, that you can envision on your wall, whether that's at home or in your workspace, don't be afraid to reach out to our amazing community of artists. They are very approachable. Ignore all the stereotypes that you've heard about artists and art galleries over the years. Our community are amazing. They're wonderful human beings, and they are here to answer your questions and to get you some amazing artwork in your home. So if you're looking to connect with Michelle, Michelle's website is now in the comments. You can go ahead and click on that link and connect with Michelle. Let's take a look at another work here from Michelle. This lovely diptych here. So let's just continue a little bit more about Michelle. She is fascinated by the conversation between shapes, color, texture, with music weaved in between. Capizzi connects those moments of joy through layers of paint, hues of positivity, and shapes that lead us into constant movement. Beautiful, beautiful work here. So we would love to hear what your thoughts are. I see some comments here. That beautiful work, Michelle. Michelle says, this is Lola, inspired by my grandmother. Now, I'm assuming that was let's go back to Lola, this one. So this was inspired by your grandmother, Michelle. That's so exciting. Says she had an incredible spirit. Now, did you create this this work while your grandmother was alive? Is this something that she had a hand in? Did she get to experience this? We would love to hear more about that. Do use the comments to tell us more about this work. Our audience are here to ask questions, and we would love to hear a little bit more about the work. It says, big dump, that feeling when you wake up and find a pure powder day. I'm guessing that's this second one, perhaps. Beautiful work. Really, really wonderful. I'm assuming this is acrylic, not entirely, could be oil. Let us know in the comments. We would love to learn more about you and your work, Michelle, so don't be afraid to introduce yourself in the comments. And then we have this final work here. Another beautiful work by Michelle. Again, Michelle is telling a story. Her works have energy, deep layers, and they're around the conversation of renewal. So again, pondering that beat, that music, that sensibility, that connection, color, texture, shapes, etc. So really incredible work, Michelle. We are delighted to be able to share space with you this evening. And again, folks, if you like what you see, do drop Michelle's name and the word vote into the comments. We will be giving away an award tonight, as most of you know. And we are, super excited to be sharing this space with some incredible artists tonight. Don't be afraid to follow them. Don't be afraid to share their work and get to know them. They are here for you this evening, and we want you to be able to connect with them and have some meaningful conversations. All right, so we are now going to look at our next artist. You bear with me 1 second. We are going to look at, let's see, where are we? Okay, bear with me, folks. I'm hoping that we're going to get Ron back so Ron can share more about his work. But in the meantime, we are going to look at Mr. Rick Kahn. Bear with me 1 second. Let me get Rick's information. Okay, so we are sharing Mr. Rick Kahn, and then we're going to hear from another artist. We have another one of our artists ready and in the studio waiting. We're going to hear from Kat in a few minutes, but let's take a look at Rick's work. So Rick, this is Rick's, I believe, his second exhibit with us here at Conception. A little information about Rick. Rick is an international award-winning expressionist artist, creating paintings that reflect relevant social issues, equality, empowerment, psychological conditions to increase awareness and understanding. So folks, if you have questions about this piece for Rick or any of the work that you see, yes, this is a powerful piece, incredibly powerful. I have questions about Rick's palette. I have a lot of questions about these characters here. We would love to hear from you, Rick. If you are around and you're on the live feed, do pop into the comments and answer some of these questions that our community have for you. Really powerful, striking work here from Rick. Let's take a look at the next one from Rick. So Rick says he focuses primarily on figurative depictions of the female experience, looking into the realities that women face in Western culture by focusing on their courage and beauty. Now, Rick has had many solo shows and group shows in Baltimore, Columbia, Annapolis, Frederick, Stevensville, Centralville, Washington, D.C., Manhattan, Chelsea, you name it. He's even had a show in Milan, Italy. So Rick has been, he's doing the rounds. He's had a lot of work displayed internationally. He's been featured in Art Tour International magazine, various galleries around the world. And he's been named a Master of Contemporary Artist of the Decade, 2010 to 2020. By Emerald Artivist 2021 by the Art Tour International magazine. Rick says, additionally, he's been in their summer, autumn, and winter issues as a cover artist and in American Art Collector magazine as well. So Rick has been doing phenomenally well, and we celebrate your success, Rick, and we're delighted to share this space with you tonight and to celebrate your amazing work with you and to share it with our community as well. So we just have one more piece from Rick. This is Rick's final piece, which is really striking to me. I think this is just a stunning piece. Beautiful, beautiful light in the top corner here. Really piercing blue eyes here. Great use of texture here by Ron as well. So anyone has any questions about this particular piece, do let us know. A few more little tidbits about Rick here. Rick has also been inducted into the Who's Who of America, and he's represented by the Grimandi Art Gallery in New York and also the Mads Art Gallery in Milan. So congratulations to you, Rick, on a beautiful, beautiful show. Very, very interesting work, and we look forward to seeing what is next from you. All right, so we're going to just jump back to the virtual gallery, and then on the other side, we are going to hear from Kat Furrow, and we're going to get to take a look at her work live in just a few moments. Make sure I'm not missing anyone because I'm all out of whack. I'm totally out of order. We did Nolan. We need Ron. From Ron yet. I'm trying. So that was Rick. Here we go. Kat. Because of Ron. Hold on 1 second. right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. I got caught in a little hot mic moment behind the scenes. Thankfully, I didn't curse. Thank you, everyone, for bearing with us as we navigate the very confusing world of behind the scenes producing with multiple moving parts. You guys are amazing. And thank you for letting us know in the comments. All right, so we are going to chat with the wonderful Kat. Jump on in, Kat. Big welcome. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome.
Hey, thank you. I'm doing really well. Really well. Very excited to be a part of your show.
We're super excited to have you. Just tell us, where in the world are you joining us from?
I am in Carlsbad, California, which is a city. Can you hear me okay? Which is a city outside of San Diego in San Diego County.
Very nice. So tell us a little bit about your backstory. Share with our community a little bit about what brought you to art.
So life brought me to art. I'm a grandmother. I'm retired from the service. I have 2 kids. But art saved my life when I was a child. A lot of people don't realize that it saved my life when I was a child. And then I put art aside. It was just crayons and a piece of paper. And around 2008, my half-sister asked me a question, and her and I had been away from each other for a million years. And she asked me if I still made pretty pictures. And I didn't know what she was talking about. And short of version is my head kind of exploded and art came back into my life. And at that time, I owned a bar. And right around the same time, a guy named Billy Martinez walked into the bar. Sounds like a joke, but it's not. And he's a Comic-Con artist he lived out here in La Mesa, awesome guy and family, and asked if he could bring live art into the bar. And I'm like, sure. And I had no flipping idea what live art was. And so we did a show, and it's a blue collar, dirty boots and a cold beer. And it really went off. It was compared to the best bands. And as far as the success of it went. So my art pushed forward as an event to support the bar. And then I made some pretty pictures along the way to support that, and I used to close the bar at night and then come down and paint until morning outside. I would paint on wood just to decompress, and lost the bar. And when that happened, my world kind of went a little nuts. And I found myself back in art. And at that time, I had an incident to where I was going to end up with neck surgery. I'm literally voice challenged. And in that process, they told me I couldn't lift more than a gallon of milk. I may not paint again. And I painted large pieces way up here. I kind of was spaz. And it was a pretty scary place. So it sat me down in a chair for a long time. And I worked out my art the best that I could. So it really changed me as a person at that time. And then it started evolving, and I'm back to being a veteran. I chose to bring art into veteran spaces, into VFWs. And there I learned that people talk to the canvas the way they talk to themselves. They're mean to themselves, So it really tried to figure out how to communicate better with people to help them help themselves. And recently in 2020, I'll just stop talking. 2020, I made some really big changes in my life, and it has a lot to do with that bison behind me. And I figured out that I'm all those people. I talk to my canvas the way I talk to myself, and my art reflected that. It was really dark and ugly, and I found myself through art, and it saved my life again. It's given me a second chance. And I really want to demonstrate that with my art and with people, and make that a part of the story. That somehow, if you choose to find yourself and believe in yourself, you can make things happen, That's my art.
Wow. Can you just come and talk to us every week? Because that is so inspiring and beautiful. What an incredible story. So one of the things that really jumped out to me there was that your half-sister almost reminded you that you were an artist, that almost came as a surprise to you. Can you tell us what it felt like when you actually had the physical materials in your hand and remembered who you were?
Back to art saved my life. So as a child, I come from a very traumatic background. So when it opened up my happiness with crayons, it opened up Pandora's box at that. And so a lot of my art has been about layers. That's why I believe in layers. Instead of peeling away an onion, it's your layers that you want to get to know and appreciate. And it's all those layers on top of those layers that make the final result, right? But I don't know how to explain what happened, or I don't know how to explain what happens when I put anything in my hands. I'm a tactile person, and I can play with anything and turn it into a pretty picture, if you let me.
So now when you look at your work, you mentioned that, you felt that the work was ugly. Clearly the work is not ugly today. Now when you look at the work, how do you feel?
I feel open. I feel just kind of, enlightened. It's the craziest thing. I am night and day from I'm sober. So I went into a treatment center also, got divorced, went into a treatment center, found myself in a whole lot of ways, and in the end, I like myself. So I don't know.
Well, you're speaking to a sober sister here. I've been in recovery for 8 years, and I highly recommend it for anybody out there who is struggling with any kind of, substance issue, alcohol, whatever else, especially for somebody as a creative. I remember thinking before I got sober that I could never be creative again. That kind of myth that we tell ourselves that we need to be like out of our minds to create something of beauty, right? Did you have any of that experience where you felt different when you were active versus when you live a sober life? Did you notice the difference in the work, if you could kind of compare it?
Yes, there's a significant difference in the work. Like a lot of my old work is nightmares. It's nightmares, and it tells ugly stories. My old work. And this work is bright and light. And before I could paint and like a piece and then keep painting on it, and it would just become the ugliest thing on the planet. Your guest earlier talked about gessoing over and layering over. Some girls that work with me, they'll hear me say that sometimes, and I say that now it's a good tool sometimes, whereas before it was a bad tool, as far as getting rid of what was so ugly. And I don't find myself in that place anymore. I still, anybody gets mad, sad, and ugly and has a lot to say to themselves. And when I do, I write on my canvases. I scream, yell, holler, cry, laugh, everything but kick it so I don't put a hole in it. And so, but on the end, it just layers up and it becomes, it's a different type of emotion that comes out of it. So some of them really still have a lot of trauma behind them, but they're presented in a way of a future rather than the past.
So with art, with life comes vulnerability, right? We're putting vulnerability on the canvas. Most of us as creatives are, at least. It's often difficult to put that vulnerability out to the world for judgment, which is essentially what happens. How is your work received? What have been some of the most inspiring, I guess, feedback that you've experienced? What does that mean to you as an artist when people experience your work and something resonates with them?
It moves me. There's some people that look at my work and they shake their head, and I'm okay with that now. I used to take that pretty personally. But now if someone comes up, particularly if they want to touch the piece, then I feel like I've succeeded. And if they ask me, what's going on, and stay long enough to hear what's going on, then I'm okay. There's people that will ask those questions and not necessarily like the work, but they respect. There's a difference. And I really enjoy that process. But what I like most is the conversations that it starts about empowerment. That's what I like most about the art process.
So, it's incredible what you're doing with veterans. What have been some of the experiences that have come out of that?
Memorial Day, I did a specific piece, and I had a woman that her mother was a nurse on Pearl Harbor. Her father was a prisoner of war on Guam. And she was the oldest person in my class, and she had she had recently fallen, but she had remembered, she was a stranger to me, and had seen a Facebook post and insisted on to her people to come to this class. And the youngest person in that class was 8 years old. And to me, it was just one of the most dynamic experiences I've had as an artist, is to be able to capture that age, just that many people, and have them here and be able to talk and share in a moment.
That's incredible. Well, Kat, since we have you here, well, first of all, I'm getting questions about your furry friend there. So who is your little assistant there?
Which, my dog or
Yes, your dog.
My dog is Winston. I am a disabled vet, so he is literally a service dog that I was gifted. He's 10 months old, so he's still in training in a hot box of rocks sometimes. But he's my buddy. Winston, he's a standard poodle. He's a standard poodle. He and I are going to try and paint the world happy.
Well, I think you're already doing a phenomenal job of that, Kat. Thank you for bringing some joy to us this evening and to our audience. So let's take a look at some of your fabulous work, if you wouldn't mind sticking with us and just telling us a little bit about each of these pieces that we're going to take a look at. So here is the first piece. Tell us a little bit about this piece, Kat.
This is Awakening, or a rebirth. And I'm often asked if I'm a dancer, and no, I like to dance, but I'm not a dancer. But I think that you can really capture and express emotion with dancing. And in this, it's a timeless piece. You can literally walk into this piece, and each of the bubbles are like different choices that you have to make, and that we're juggling around. And in my life, I kind of lost control of all of my little bubbles, if you will. And if you were able to see it up close, she's blooming up out of one of the blooms. One of the blooms is opened up, and she's danced out and just discovered life and a new perspective of living forward, not backwards.
It's beautiful. So let's look at this next piece. So this is the bison. That I want to hear more about the bison. What does this represent to you?
Courage. This bison represents courage, and it represents kindness of strangers. I had a stranger come up to me, and we ended up in a conversation about a bison, and this piece came from that. But that stranger was part of the catalyst to me starting my journey last year, and that was the last piece I painted before I went into treatment. So the eyes of that piece is really me. We're looking at each other and making a lot of decisions. And it's just where, it's kind of a good and evil. You can see the light and the dark come together, and there's a lot of choices. It can be that the storm is past or the storm is coming. It's dependent upon how you want to receive it. But it's a powerful piece. The history of bisons, it's pretty phenomenal. And it's one of my favorite pieces to date. It's
stunning. And now knowing the backstory, it's even more beautiful. And yes, Jen is in the comments, just giving you a lot of love here, and rightly says this needs to be in someone's home. So folks, for all the love that you're giving Kat here, do take a look at Kat's work. This is really incredible, thoughtful work that, yes, absolutely needs to find a home. So check out Kat's work. And if you see something that resonates with you, of course, reach out to Kat. We do have her website right here in the comments. I think we have one more piece from you, Kat. If you could tell us about this beautiful piece.
Yes. So one, I want to say my website went live, and it went live today. So we're really proud of that. And this is Girl in the Garden. Girl in the Garden is about life or death. A significant person in my life this summer fell ill. And literally, I had the experience of taking her to the emergency room and not knowing whether or not I would see her again. And I came home and I took a piece. There's an actual florals, bright pink and sunflowers underneath this piece. I took a piece off the wall and painted to the night for about 3 days straight on this one. And all of them, like the one before it, there's a whole lot of collage, and there's a whole lot of stenciling, and there's a whole lot of writing, yelling, praying. There's a lot of prayer in this piece, and a lot of conversation in my head about the hereafter, about God, about staying present, and keeping a person on this planet. This is Girl in the Garden, and she's alive. My friend's still alive, and that's a good thing.
Well, we're glad to hear that. And there's a lot of life in this piece, in all of your work. In you, Kat, thank you for everything. Thank you for your service. Thank you for being, so vulnerable and honest about your recovery. I think that, the more people that do that, the more people could be inspired to perhaps take their path, their own individual path as well. So thank you so much, Kat. This has been such a pleasure. Any final thoughts you want to leave our audience with this evening?
If you have the opportunity to be kind, choose to be kind, because you may change somebody's life. You never know. But thank you for the opportunity to show my work.
Thank you, Kat. What a pleasure. Folks, that is the wonderful Kat Furrow. We are going to be back on the other side of this little video that's coming your way with some more artwork. Don't forget to get your votes in, folks. We are going to be tallying up those votes around 8:15, 8:30, so be sure to get them in. All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. This is Conception Art Show Fall Edition. I hope everybody is enjoying this evening and getting to know some of these phenomenal, amazing, incredible, creative beings that I have the pleasure to share this evening with. Do let us know in the comments what you think of the show this evening. We are just truly honored to be here, and grateful to you for joining us and actually spending this time with us. As a reminder, the rest of the evening, we're going to be hearing from a few more of our artists. We're going to get up close and personal again with a few more special guests who are going to tell us about the inspiration and the ideas behind their work. And we're also going to see some more visual gallery exhibit features of the remaining exhibitors. And then at around 8:50 and 8:30, we are going to be giving out our awards. We have a few awards to give away this evening. We have our Award for Excellence. We have a cash prize. And we also have the Audience Award as well. So if you are supporting a particular artist, if you're here for somebody special tonight, help them out by getting your vote into the comments. Just put their name and the word vote, and we will tally them up at the end of the evening and make sure they take that award home with them. Again, spread the word. If you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, do go ahead and do that. And do share this video far and wide while we are actually live right now, so we can help get as many votes for your favorite artist as possible. All right, folks. So we are going to look at some more art. Now we're going to look at the wonderful Luis Calvano, who has stumbled onto something very unique. Lou is a photographer. I've gotten to know Lou over the last couple of months, as he is a member of our membership club, which is our monthly membership club, Artist Action Club. I have got to know Lou, and he's been experimenting with his photography, and he has actually come up with his own really, really cool style. So let's take a look at that right now. This is one of my favorite pieces by Lou. Incredible photography. I'm going to read a little bit about Lou now. So Lou says, I truly admire the artist who can conceive an image in the mind and translate onto a canvas or other surface. He says, I have no such gift. I beg to disagree. My imagery, along with my fellow photographers, is not the result of a preconceived idea. I am not driven by my imagination, rather by my curiosity. Is it not, what do I see? Or it is not, what do I see? Instead, it is, what would I see? So this is, I believe, the carousel in, I believe this is in Brooklyn, if I am recalling correctly. Love, love, love this style by Lou Calvano. He's really doing something that I've certainly not seen done before with these amazing, I think he calls it paramania. Lou, do correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think that's the term that he has coined for this very unique style. I'm not going to give away his secrets and tell you how he does this, but it is a very specific thing that he does to shoot these incredible images. And they really are just striking. So let's take a look at another one of these awesome images. Let's see if anybody can guess where this one is. I think any good New Yorker should be able to point out that this is, of course, Times Square, looking very busy. Nothing like Times Square right now in the middle of a pandemic, but we certainly don't miss those busy days of trying to walk through Times Square. Again, with this amazing energy, these kind of fragmented, distorted images really do create almost like an abstract expressionist painting. That illusion, that kind of little Jackson Pollock, a little Rothko in there, a little bit of everything. Very fun, very unique style by Lou. Lou is also a doctor. Lou is a chiropractor. Let's learn a little bit more about Lou. Lou says, in other words, there are no preconceived images in my mind. I'm never really sure what to expect each time I go out to compose images. On top of that, once I've taken the photograph, I'm not sure what is going to happen when I play with the software that allows me to manipulate the image. It's all about observation and experimentation. I find a compelling scene that captures my attention. Then I tinker, tweak, and tease the image until I'm satisfied with it. My Panamania, that was, of course, the correct term, Panamania series dives deep into chaos, exploring its impact on our lives and how we process it. So Jane's carousel, that was the first image that we looked at, has been transformed from a genteel divertimento into a stampede. The riders are self-absorbed, taking selfies on their phones. The horses appear terrified. Let's go back and look at that while we talk about that, actually, because that is very cool. The horses appear terrified. There's no getting off this ride. And then, of course, the Times Square piece. Lou has some thoughts here on the Times Square piece. Bear with me 1 second, folks. So Lou says on the Times Square piece, Times Square, August 2019, was taken before COVID emptied the streets of Manhattan. The place is teeming with sightseers. The energy is so expansive that the square can hardly contain it. The billboards are splitting and trembling. And what do we see in the midst of all of this? The calm, centered gaze of a boy. He seems to be looking out from it. He's okay with it, even enjoying it. Everybody spot the boy there looking out. And then this piece, which I absolutely love by Lou, this is the MoMA bookshelves. Lou says the MoMA bookshelves are scrambled as if in an earthquake, ready to tumble on top of the patron pursuing a book, totally unaware of what is going on behind her. Or perhaps they've always been like that, and to her it is totally normal. So I absolutely love what Lou is doing here. Let us know in the comments what you think of this very unique style, very interesting takes that Lou has on this. Something really cool that we've certainly not seen before. And we've seen a lot of art over the years. Really loving what you're doing here, Lou. Congratulations. It's great to have you in the show this evening. Folks, if you see something that you are enjoying here, a reminder that all the artwork is most likely for sale. Don't be afraid to reach out to the artist personally. Lou is in the comments. I see Mr. Lou in the comments right here. So don't be afraid to ask him questions. That's what our artists are here for this evening. So you can actually get to know them a little better and learn more about their work. All right. So who do we have up next? We have... Let's see who we have next. Okay. We have the wonderful Dolphin, who I believe is also live in the comments. Dolphin Brown is joining us this evening. I see Dolphin in the comments. I'm going to actually introduce Dolphin before we actually look at the work, because what we're going to see this evening from Dolphin are 3 video pieces. They're 3 interactive pieces. So I'm going to actually turn that over to you so you can watch the 3 of them together. But before we do that, let's just hear a little bit about Dolphin. Dolphin says, my journey with video creation began in the 8th grade purely by accident. When I took TV news as an elective, I could never have predicted that it would lead to one of the great loves of my life. After attending the High School for Performing and Visual Arts in Houston, Texas, I went on to complete my BFA in Video Arts at the Savannah College of Art and Design. While there, I met renowned video artist Dara Birnbaum. This opportunity set me on the path to creating the first multi-channel installation at the college, a new phase of my artistic development. Art should, in my opinion, always push the boundaries of its technology. Video can and should defy conventional television restrictions. Building unique visual layouts, collaging together moving images into deeply layered visuals, and intermingling distinct audio streams, video art and video installations can create a world of sound and visuals that envelops you. It can go beyond the canvas and brings you fully into a different reality. After recovering from cancer in 2017, Dolphin began to create art that opened her mind to new ways of seeing and thinking, a moment where she could breathe deeply and experience magic. Her art is a call to transcend beyond the moment and to dive below the surface, to immerse yourself in the world of possibilities. So, folks, I invite you to enjoy the beautiful work of Dolphin Brown. Folks, I'm just interrupting for a second because I am being told in the comments that the audio is not playing. So we're going to try and make that happen. Can you folks hear the audio now? I'm just going to see if we can try this again. Folks, can you now hear the audio? All right, folks. Wow. That was incredible. I'm so excited that we were able to actually get the audio working, because absolutely they are not the same without the audio. This is it's a transcendental experience. Thank you, Dolphin, for sharing. I must let you know, folks, that tomorrow morning, if you want to learn more about Dolphin's work, tune in tomorrow morning, because Dolphin is going to be joining me on Coffee with Artists tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. live on YouTube and also on Facebook. So if you're not following the Facebook page, it's a good time to do so. And if you have questions for Dolphin, drop them into the comments and I will make sure we get them answered tomorrow. All right, folks. So we do have another wonderful artist joining us right now. We have the wonderful Sean Duffy. So I'm going to jump right in and go to you, Sean. Hello, hello.
Hi, Rachel.
Welcome, welcome.
It's so nice to be here. I feel like I just got a binaural frequency cleansing from Dolphin. It was fabulous.
I feel like I'm ready to go take a nap. It was so calming and beautiful.
I mean, I totally tune into those frequencies. I think that it's part of my process too. There's a lot of research on frequencies and how they can tap into your creative channeling, and so I love what he's doing, and I absolutely. But
I'm going to just correct you. It's what she's doing, but absolutely right there with you.
She, right. Sorry.
Well, we're here to talk about you right now, Sean. So I want to
thanks.
just, first of all, thank you for joining us live. Thank you for bearing with us. We're running a little bit behind schedule, folks. The joys of going live. So Sean, just for anybody who doesn't know anything about you and your work, can you just tell us a little bit about your background and what brought you to artwork?
Sure. And thanks for this opportunity to be part of this platform. And I love what you're doing. And I really am looking forward to taking some great advice from your coaching and learning a lot more. Maybe I'll get a book tonight. Haven't had a chance, but I definitely will. And I've been following, conception arts for a long time. I'm a self-taught artist. I've been painting for about 30 years. I've had, other concerns in my life just haven't really had a chance to go out and show my work. But I've been actively painting and prolifically creating for a long time, and have a studio in Situate, Massachusetts. I live right on the ocean, and I have a beautiful view of the Atlantic Ocean right out my studio window. So, I do have a variety of styles. Obviously I'm trying to tune in, and get, the style that really, and several of them are working for me right now, but I love ocean landscape, seascapes. But as you can see from tonight's show, I've put in some of my abstract and some of my expressionist work. And that's what I love to do when I go up to my studios. I love to feel completely unconstrained to just express myself and to express my personal joy of life and try to spread that to people, try to make people smile, make them feel good.
So one of the things that I love about these shows and actually getting to have, these kind of conversations is that we learn so much more than just the artwork. We learn so much more about you as individuals and creators. And I'm going to just read something from your bio here. It says, early in his career, Sean lived in Moscow as the director of multinational government relations for a global information network provider during the Reconstruction period post-collapse of the Soviet Union. While living as an expatriate in Moscow, Sean became close friends with the world-renowned Azerbaijani painter Tahir Salahov. Okay, talk us through this whole life experience.
Sure. Well, I've been involved in the telecom world early on. Right after I got out of college, I went to work for what was used to be called the phone company in New York City. And that led, I also happened to speak Russian. So I studied Russian for a good part of my academic career. And by real great fortune, and was very lucky, I got to go and work over there for several years. And during the Reconstruction period, there was a great deal of cooperation. There was a great deal of hope and optimism that, they could come out of the darkness of the Soviet Union. And I had happened to rent an apartment that and my landlord was Tahir. And I had no idea who he was. He had been a high-level official in the Brezhnev as Minister of Culture. He was Azerbaijani, but he lived in Russia. He grew up in Baku. His father was killed by Stalin, and he still, he went on to become a high-level communist official, but he was always outside of the politics. He was always trying to promote art and culture, and he did an amazing job because it was a closed society, but he was able to get around the world, and his work is now in the Tretyakov, it's at the Guggenheim, it's in the MoMA, it's everywhere. So Tahir, he saw me painting one day in my studio, and he's like, "Oh, Sean, and Hudojnik, хорошо." And I said, "Hey, where can I get some art supplies?" And he said, came back with a letter for me to go to the store around the corner. And when I presented the letter to this lady, her face just completely lit up, and she's like, wanted to keep the letter. So that's when I knew something was up with Tahir. So I went back to him and was like, "Hey, Tahir, who are you?" And then his wife came down, and then I began to learn about him, and we started to paint together, and he really took a liking to my work. He encouraged me. He helped me become a member of the International Federation of Artists. And for the 5 years that I lived and worked in Russia, he was my neighbor. So we would go out to his dacha every weekend. And I was, he did pass away this past, about a few months ago. I was very fortunate to be able to go visit with him in Baku and at his dacha out at Nadaran in 2019. And it was a fabulous time. We spent 2 weeks there with him and his wife, painting with him in his studio, and really getting to see him in his final days. But he was working right up to the end, and he is just the most wonderful, beautiful soul to ever live, and to have come out of the Soviet Union and to have created the incredible breadth and beautiful work that he did is just amazing. And so his work continues on, and I just love the fact that he's somebody that I can talk about as a friend and a mentor.
What an incredible gift to have such a mentor. What kind of impact did he have on you creatively? Did it change the direction of your work? Did it open you up to new possibilities?
So, I mean, right down from just, I call it the Wizard of Oz effect, where, he basically, "Sean, you're an artist. You're a great artist," he told me. And that, just to hear him say that, and he meant it, was incredible to me. So I started to believe it. I didn't really come from a background of artists. It had a whole different direction in my life. I was supposed to be, an athlete and a business person, but I've always wanted to pursue my creative side, and I've done it. I've, made it something I've done. But from that side, he was important, but also, actual technique. I learned some really good techniques from him, really just starting with charcoal and, outlining the works. And so from there, I also studied his portraiture work. I mean, he did some amazing portraiture of a lot of very well-known figures in, art and history and culture. So I studied his drawings, but to watch him work, to see his process, and I'm fortunate to have a couple of his pieces, was just incredible. And from using a knife to sketching to just the type of paints and the palette and the color hues that he used, I sometimes will try to take a little bit from, if I can.
That's incredible. Well, let's look at some of your artwork. Obviously, mentors are incredible, and if you can have a mentor, somebody of that caliber, I think it's just just what a gift to have somebody like that.
It really truly was a gift.
Let's see what we have from you this evening, Sean. So can you talk us through this first piece? Can you tell us what you were thinking, where the inspiration came from?
Yeah, this is called Eskimo Dragon. And it's actually, those are 4 30 by 30 pieces of really nice, high quality pressed paper. And I've just basically laid them out on the floor, and it was just a 5 or 6 step process. And what I really was trying to aim for was to keep the blue line all connected, and it's really sort of this cocoon of that culture to me. And that's, just the north, the sun and the the sky and the snow, and it just sort of explodes. But I wanted to maintain one single fluid motion that sort of flies above everything else.
What kind of impact is your environment, your landscape, where you live in the world, what you experience through your eyes on a daily basis? What kind of impact does that have on your work, being somebody who has lived in different cultures, experienced different countries, etc.?
It's really important to keep the view, change your view a little bit. That's why we love to travel. So, being in one place for too long is not necessarily a good thing, I think, for your creativity. I like to go out into nature, whether it's out in the water, but I also love to go up into the mountains. And just recently was in Colorado, where the Western style piece that you may show next or coming up, I wouldn't have painted that had I not just been in Colorado. So, travel is crucial, and seeing other artists is crucial. And that's why I love participating in these types of events and every chance I get. It's been hard because of the, COVID to get to, live shows, and that will come back. We all know it will. So looking forward to that. But that's really, I think, a big part of the process.
So let's look at this next. Actually, let's talk about this one. This is the piece I think that you're referring to. Tell us about where the idea was conceived, where you were when you created it. Give us some.
So John Nieto is a Native American artist that I am a huge fan of, and he's Santa Fe. He's no longer with us. He's a long time ago artist, and I've really been studying his style for a long time, and just never been brave enough to try it. And I just, after this trip, I just said, I'm going to go for this, and I was happy with the way this one came out. I want to. I think I'm not trying to appropriate culture here. I don't believe in that, to be honest with you. But I want to express my personal sense of the sadness for what happened to Native Americans in our country. And I think in his expression on his face, I see anger, sadness, disappointment, but also strength and power and integrity. And so those are the feelings I have about that situation. And I feel good about the way it came out. If you look at the middle of his chest, it's all coming into him, and he's this all powerful spirit.
What do you feel when there's often kind of competing views on this, but what do you feel in that moment when you are just alone with the canvas, you and the canvas, you and your idea? Like, do you feel like it's something that is innately in you, that comes from a higher plane, or is there's some other reasoning as to where it comes from? Can you give us some insight into that?
Oh, this might sound funny, and some of my friends, and hi to all my buddies that are watching tonight. I know there's a few people, but you might think this is funny, but I played competitive sports growing up and played a pretty decent level of athletics, and in front of crowds and things, and it's nerve-wracking, but there's if you ever played it in an event where you've got thousands of people cheering for you, it's just exhilarating. You get this huge adrenaline rush from it. And this might sound crazy, but when I sit there and work on my paintings, like, that's how I feel. I feel like I'm like out on the ice, skating around, getting ready to, to stand there for the anthem and, go out and play.
I think that is just exactly that. The only way I can describe it is that feeling of being on the beam of doing exactly what you are supposed to be doing in that moment.
Completely. Completely.
I totally relate. Not that I've been a competitive athlete in any shape, but I know myself when I'm creating artwork, and it's not always, it's usually when I'm being my most authentic and not trying to be something else.
Right.
feeling of peace and that feeling of nothing else around matters is just so peaceful.
Yeah. It's where your true inner self can operate without all those constraints. And that's where you then can express. And I think, some of us just have a need to express. And, I don't think trying to understand why we do it is good. You'll never get a good answer necessarily. But it's there and can't help it. And like I said, I do it because I want people to enjoy it and get my sense of whatever it is I'm feeling in the piece that I'm creating.
Well, this is a stunning piece. Let's take a look. We have one more piece from you here, Sean. This is lovely, very elegant, simplistic, modernist. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, that one, I really hadn't been thought about it before I began it, but I wanted to do something about the very fragileness of the things that hold us together. It's, our country, our world, our health, our personally, family, everything. There's, one little strand can go and it all comes apart. And that little string, and I love that you called it elegant, because a friend of mine who I admire, when we talk about inventions, he always would say the simplest and most elegant things are usually, the best. And so I'd like that you called it elegant. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. That's the first word that came to mind when I saw this piece. It's really beautiful. Well, Sean, thank you for joining us on the live feed this evening. I really appreciate it, and it's great to get to know you a little and learn something, some more about your story. Any final thoughts you want to leave our audience with?
No, just thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to the next event and hope to see you again soon.
Absolutely. Such a pleasure. All right, folks, go and check out Sean's work. Sean's information is in the comments. His website is there. If you're interested in purchasing anything by Sean or any of the other artists that you've seen tonight, what an incredible roster we have this evening. Be sure to go share their social media links, vote for them in the comments. I see a lot of votes coming in. Keep them coming in. We are going to be closing it down very soon. But again, if you can't support the artist by buying their artwork, one of the most powerful things that you can do is to like, share, and tell other people about your incredible artist friends. They're amazing. All right, we are going to look at some more artwork now. We are going to look at some stunning work by Daniel Jacobson. So we're going to get Daniel's work up right now. Bear with me one second. Okay. All right, let's take a look at this first work by Daniel. Okay. Keep those votes coming in, folks. All right, so Daniel Jacobson. Daniel Jacobson was born and lives in Melbourne, Australia. He has always loved art and spent his childhood drawing, painting, and creating. This interest continued throughout his schooling, studying art in high school. After completing school, he studied industrial design at Monash University, where his passion for art remained strong. Having been an industrial designer for over 15 years, holding a variety of different roles, including being an exhibition designer at the National Gallery of Victoria, he is now dedicated to his real interest, painting, specifically abstract art. There is a geometry and mathematical basis found in most of his work, and he uses multiple tools and experimental applications to create multi-layered and often textural artwork. So here we have the first piece by Daniel right here. One of the things that really struck me with Daniel's work was the precision, just the execution here. The style is striking. I love his use of color here. I think these are brave colors to mix together, but the execution is flawless. For anybody out there that thinks that this is an easy task, that this is a style that is easy to replicate, I can tell you firsthand it is not. And the application of the paint here is absolutely flawless in all of the work that you're going to see actually by Daniel. Very impressive, very modernist theme, very kind of sensual energy to them somehow, with despite that they are these geometric shapes. So let's take another look at some of more pieces by Daniel. This one with a little bit more feminine energy. Again, with these just bold geometric styles. Daniel says, my process involves transferring ideas and concepts to paper or to the computer and then executing the work onto canvas. I also paint spontaneously, which allows the mind the freedom to express ideas, allowing the paint to take me on a journey to the final product. So let us know in the comments, folks, what kind of feelings these are inspiring for you right now. I find these very soothing, despite these kind of heavy geometric lines. I think they're stunning, simplistic, beautiful, modernist, lovely, lovely, lovely. So I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about this beautiful work by Daniel? Daniel is probably just getting up, given he's in Melbourne, Australia. It's some ungodly time of the morning there right now. But hopefully Danny is able to catch this broadcast, if not the recording. Danny, we're really excited to share space with you this evening. And it's great to have some international representation in the house. I think you're our first overseas in this show this evening. So welcome to you and to any viewers from Australia who are joining this live feed in support of Danny's work. And if you want to vote for Danny, now is the time to do it. Pop his name into the comments with the word vote. And you can also learn more about Danny's work by visiting his website. His website and I believe his Instagram are both in the comments where you can actually learn a little more about his work. All right, so we are moving on. Next, we are going to look at, let me just make sure, we're going to see the work of, I believe, Helen Kagan. So let's take a look. Okay. All right. Okay, let's hear a little about Helen. Helen writes, I'm Helen Kagan, PhD, a healing artist, a pioneer in creating art with an intention to heal, a creator of my unique concept, Healing Arts, where I bring together fine art, expressive art, and the art of healing by synergistically integrating healing frequencies of color, positively charged intention, embedded spiritual messages, and energetically balanced composition. I believe in the interconnectedness of mind, body, and spirit, and that art as a powerful form of self-expression is a vehicle for emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. Spectacular colors here, just bursting with life. All these gold kind of hues, but just jumping off the screen here. Stunning work by Helen. Okay. We have this beautiful cityscape here. So Helen writes, my healing arts has been shown in many physical and online galleries, cities, states, countries, etc. Been featured in the FL Design magazine, major art fairs, including Art Expo New York, Art Hamptons, Art San Diego, Art Basel, Miami. Helen was also named a collectible artist by Brickell and Key Biscayne magazines. Inspiration International Art Book, Art Tour, you name it. She's won multiple awards and has exhibited all over the country. And Helen writes that in our turbulent, crazy times, that she believes her unique healing arts is very needed in healthcare, in hospitality, in residential markets, just everywhere. She says her art is about discovering your journey, being on a quest, learning to embrace light, love, healing. It's often called a symphony of colors, as it is saturated with energy, movement, passion, and vibrant, bright colors. Helen says her mission is, and her vision and her mission and her purpose is to enhance a healing process in a viewer by introducing multisensory experience to encourage joy, happiness, and well-being. Helen is on a quest to help you find your Zen. In 2020, as a healing artist, Helen shares that she felt obligated to create a new life-affirming series of artwork. A year of many losses and many lessons, a transformational year, 2020 taught us to embrace and share love and light, despite challenges and difficult circumstances. Helen created many new works for her collection 5D and the newest pandemic series, Serenity. You can meditate with Helen's art, take a deep cleansing breath, and inhale bright healing colors with positively charged high-dimensional frequencies of love and light. Then exhale all of the negative stuff: fear, anxiety, depression, overwhelm, hopelessness, uncertainty, and keep doing it for as long as you need to feel good. Amid worldwide multiple crises and pandemic saturated with anxiety, uncertainty, illness, death, fear, and loss of stress and insanity, Helen hopes that healing arts will be healing and transformational to anybody who's on their journey to serenity, involvement, and enlightenment. So I hope everybody is feeling enlightened by this stunning work and beautiful concept by Helen Kagan. Helen, thank you for not only sharing your artwork with us, but sharing that beautiful motivation, the beautiful story, and the impact that you are having through this incredible body of work. We are delighted to share the space with you this evening. Folks, if you want to learn more about Helen, her website is in the comments. Go ahead and check that out. And I believe maybe there is an Instagram in there as well. I see some comments here. The folks are already feeling healed looking at your work, Helen. So mission accomplished. Congratulations to you for exhibiting with us this evening. We're delighted to have you. All right, we are going to go over to the virtual gallery, and then on the other side, we are going to hear from another artist. We're going to hear from Lainey Kaye. I think Lainey has some fans in the comments tonight, so all the Lainey Kaye supporters, stick around, and you're going to get to hear from Lainey in person or live on the video in just a few minutes. All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. We are going to be chatting with Lainey Kaye in just a few seconds. But before we do, we're going to do a little fun giveaway for our audience members. We are going to give away a Conception Arts swag bag, which is this very fancy, not so fancy. Hang on one second. This is our Conception Arts swag bag that we have right here that is filled with goodies. You get a t-shirt, Conception Arts hat. We're also going to throw in a copy of my book. I'm going to sign that, some other fun stuff. And it's going to be a conception-related question. So the first person in the comments to name 5 places, 5 locations, just the name of the city where Conception Arts have had in-person shows. The first person to get 5 cities correct, 5 cities that we've actually shown in, will win that Conception Arts goodie bag. So again, first one to do it in the comments, 5 cities where we've had in-person shows in the last 10 years is going to take home that goodie bag, and we will let you know at the end of the show who the winner is. All right, so let's bring on Lainey. Hey, Lainey, how are you doing?
Hi, Rachel. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm well. It's such a pleasure to have you join us.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
And I see you have a furry friend here joining you, joining us.
I do.
Who is this?
I do. I've been watching the whole time, and he's been off doing his own thing. And then, of course, right now he knew the show was on and had to be involved. So,
well, we are very animal friendly. In fact, we've had yeah. My cat has appeared here. We've had a whole dogs communicating with each other. So he's in good company.
Yeah. So
we are here tonight to talk about your work. Lainey, give us a little context. Give us some background into what led you into the arts.
So, when I look back, I was always really interested in art. I drew and created things. But when I was younger and in school and high school in particular, I really had this idea of talent, and more specifically that I didn't think I had it, and that it was something you just had to have. And so I kind of, pushed it aside and continued on. And I went to college at the University of San Diego and had got a psychology degree. But partway through, I just needed some extra credits. And I thought, I'll take an art class. That'll be easy. Of course, it was the most time-consuming class I had of anything. But I realized that I loved it. And it was so much fun. And it was something that instead of talent, that it's more like passion and commitment and time, tons of time that's involved in it, and that we just see the finished piece. We don't see all the ones that were thrown away or painted over, and so I really love that process, and continued to work with that. I started with oil. I love color. I love texture. I relate to Van Gogh and him eating the paint because he loved the color so much. I don't eat my paint, but I relate to that, just that passion of the color. So just really working on, as I was working with that, communicating, studied all the technical stuff. But in 2016, I challenged myself to do a painting a day. And during that time, I got really close. Not quite the 365, but very close. And in that process, I just feel like my style, my ability to tap into emotion and express emotion really came through. And that's really where I see the passion of my own art, and it's really my meditation and my therapy, and I want that for everybody else too. So I just I want to paint the full spectrum of emotions, not just the happy things that we think are the good emotions. And really, my goal actually is to paint murals, so large pieces on buildings of fear and pain and anxiety and depression, so that people don't feel so alone. So they know that, that we all relate, that we all have those same. Can you hear me?
Your audio keeps cutting in and out. Anybody else having an issue with Lainey's audio? Oh, you're back. There we go.
Okay. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. We lost
Okay.
your signal dropped for a second there.
Okay. I won't
So
move. I live on a boat.
you
So-
do?
Yeah.
Tell
So
us about that. That's incredible.
Yeah, actually, it's my husband and I bought a boat just about a year ago. Between us, we have 4 kids, and we were living in, the big house, and it just got to be so much, and we just decided to kind of sell it all, and that the stuff started to own us. The things you own end up owning you, and so we sold almost all of it, which was incredibly freeing and life altering, and really exchanged things for adventures and experiences, and we can go wherever we want, whenever we want, and so it's actually pretty amazing. I highly recommend it to everybody. I love it.
How did that impact you creatively, going from kind of the constraints of like modern lifestyle to this, adventurous, more, I guess, emotionally connected life experience that you're living now?
Yes, absolutely. So, I'm incredibly empathic. So I absorb everything going on around me, which is partly also why I have to paint, because I have to release it. But yeah, being on the water is obviously very fluid. And I feel like that has really seeped into my work as well. And been much more, I've always meditated and, spiritually been connected with things and people and kind of the collective consciousness. But I do feel like this journey has propelled me even more towards that, further within, actually, which connects me to everything else going on around me. But it's amazing to take the boat somewhere, moor up on a mooring buoy, wake up on a different island, every morning. And I live in Washington, so we have the San Juans just there's so much water at our fingertips, and there's just so much beauty in the world that it's incredible to be surrounded by it.
It sounds like a dream come true for an artist.
Yeah.
We're all packing our bags and heading your way.
Sounds good.
So tell us a bit. We're going to look at your work, and we have some videos of one of your beautiful murals. But tell us where your inspiration comes, aside from the emotional stuff. Who were your heroes artistically?
My heroes really began with the Impressionists. Monet, when he talked about how he painted the air between him and his subject. I thought, when I heard that, I just thought that was an incredible concept to try to get that down onto paper, I guess, or canvas. And I think that's some of what I still try to do also, is that, I paint things that aren't tangible, they're joy and pain and bullying. And putting those into a visual context that's the challenge that I love. Picasso is, I love abstract art. So starting to see that journey that he went through, and then probably Frida Kahlo is probably one of my absolute favorites. She truly painted from the heart, from the gut, from that very just deepest part of herself. And I just think it's so inspiring to see that and to try to do that myself.
Amazing. Well, I think that's a great point for us to jump off and take a look at some of this awesome work. So I'm going to actually run the videos first so we can take a look at one of your murals. And then if you'd be so kind to talk us through this process, that would be great.
Absolutely. I actually wasn't sure you'd be able to show this, so that's really exciting. So I recently painted this mural in Portland for a couple, and it's in their home. And as you can see, Portland, Oregon, I put lots of there's a little person with a cape on top of the sign. There's so much to it. So it's 20 feet tall by 16 feet wide. It took me 3 months, about 33 days, split up over 3 months. And there's tons of little pieces of them in it. Some of their photos that they took. One of their first days, they went on a hot air balloon ride. So there's a hot air balloon in there. That's one of their dogs that passed away. That particular dog doesn't have a shadow, and he's on a cloud. So sort of to represent that, he's more the angelic.
Oh, we lost your audio again, Lainey.
Figure. And so am I back?
Yep, you're back again.
Okay, good. Sorry. Yeah, so they live in the city in Portland, but Portland's very, it's very outdoorsy. Mount Hood the mountains are 2 hours away and the ocean is 2 hours away. So there's just everything. And they're incredibly active and they have 5 kids between them. They're a mixed family. So all the kids are in there. And lots of nature pieces and what they do. I don't know if the video is still playing. I don't see it playing, but
let me I think there's a second one, so let's try
there
that.
is, yeah.
Let's try this one. So what is it like doing something? Well, first of all, I have questions of doing something of this scale. Do you map this out before you actually put it up on the wall, or are you just freestyling here? Because this is intense. There's a lot happening.
Yeah. So I did a sketch that I sent to them, which if you looked at it, it doesn't look anything like this, right? So it's very much morphed into something different. And I have to say they're just the dream clients, because they had bought artwork from me 10 years prior. They have, I don't know, 6 or 7 other pieces. They moved into this house and had this huge wall, and originally wanted a few pieces. And then we're kind of like, I'm throwing it out there, but do you do murals? And I was like, that's funny you say that. I was just saying I'd really want to. And so they told me, though, that we love your work so much, we don't even care. We don't care what you do at all. You can do whatever you want. So complete free to create whatever I wanted. But I do have to say there's my puppy. What was incredible about this process was it was truly a lesson in vulnerability for me. Painting, usually when I show people my art, it's at a stage I choose and where I want to show them. And they were living around it as I was creating it. And their daughter would come and sit on the stairs, and she'd point out things that had changed and that were different. And it was an incredible learning process for me. And I just feel like I grew and exploded in what I feel like I could do and create and communicate.
It's beautiful and just vast, and scares the heck out of me to even think about doing something on that scale. But what a lovely experience to actually have the family kind of immersed in that experience. And we don't always get dream clients like that. A commission can be very hard for artists. For the non-artists out there, commissions can be very difficult for us because you're working with somebody else's vision.
Exactly.
Your style. So it can be very difficult to get those two things on the same page. But this sounds like a dream come true, that immersive, interactive experience to bring something beautiful to life. So
completely. Thank you. Yeah. And what was really fun is that, so because of the size of it, when I first started it, I did draw out a sketch on, so I taped a paint pen to the end of an extension pole, and drew that way. And that was incredible. It reminded me of Matisse at the end of his life. He was bedridden and had these huge pieces of paper on the bed, or on the wall near his bed. And he drew on them like that. And I thought, wow, how is that even possible? So it was really cool to be able to try things like that, to kind of just to do something different.
That's amazing. All right, so we're going to look at a few of your other works right now. Talk us through this one.
So this is I had done a piece during the 2016 year where I had painted a painting a day, and it had a DJ in the front of it. And then this was actually a commission piece as well. And the couple that purchased it they had a new house, and they had a pool room. And so they wanted a piece specifically for that room. And I really wanted this sort of like almost ocular perspective, where you're looking in sort of like a fishbowl kind of, and just, there's lots of the kind of the interactions of people. I'm just fascinated with how people communicate and body language and all of that. And also, again, obviously I love color. And there's a couple pictures in the back on the wall that is each of them. They're fisherwoman. And so they're in the pictures in the back too. So that was pretty fun. It was a fun piece.
It's a lot of energy jumping off of this piece. I like it a lot.
Thank you so much.
So this is a total change in palette, in just everything. I could almost say that this is much more muted than the tones that we're seeing from you. Tell us why.
So I actually did this about 10 years ago. It was at the time until my mural. It was the largest piece I had created. It is 16 feet wide and 8 feet tall. And it's on wood, and I hand cut each piece in.
Oh, we lost you. Lost your audio.
To a puzzle.
Oh, you're back. Hold on 1 second. All right, try it again.
Okay. Well, I don't know what you heard, but it was I created.
We're talking about cutting it into a puzzle.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I hand cut it with a jigsaw in my basement, and at the time it was for it's called Gallery Zero in Portland, for a specific gallery show, and the owner of the gallery was just pushing me to go bigger and bigger, and so I decided, I wanted a full wall in the show, and the title of the show was Not Afraid of Beauty. So the problem was that at the time I didn't have a wall or space large enough to paint it. So I painted it on the floor in my basement. It took me about 5 months, and I pretty much walked on it the entire time until 2 days before the show, when I finally got to see it up. And then I kind of had to fix, a few things. But so the title of the piece is Not Afraid of Beauty. The woman in the middle is a cancer survivor. And it's really full spectrum of what beauty is, what we think beauty is. The man stepping out on the left-hand side is blind. There's an elderly couple up in a couple of the chairs. There's skeletons over on the other side with actually two dark figures behind them. The young girl in the front reaching for the balloon. Every person in the audience is different. In fact, the entire cast of The Wizard of Oz is in the audience, because I think that, each of those characters kind of represents different pieces of us as a whole, of different emotions. But yeah, it was the thought of doing this. I really wanted to do this piece and had this vision of it. The challenge is that, and this as an artist, is that things usually get darker as they get further away, but the light was coming from behind her. So to create that effect and that, perspective was definitely one of the most challenging things I had done at the time, for sure. But I really love it. I still have it. And so I'm really hoping that, that it finds a good home. It needs a good home.
It's not one of those pieces that you feel like you can't let go of?
No, I think and I think as I've continued to paint and create, I guess I kind of feel like my art is like a service. I feel like it'll find the right people, and the right people will find it, and that they Will look at it and experience something from it and feelings. I'm trying to do more than just express an emotion. I'm trying to like release pain, release fear as I paint. And hopefully that will, be in somebody's home, and that will help them release those emotions as well.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. This work is available, this very large work that
Very
literally
large.
had the artist standing in this piece. What's better than that? You're getting raw emotion that is
Yeah.
actually injected into this piece by the hands and feet of the artist. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're interested in purchasing this piece by Lainey, get in touch. Her website is in the comments right here. And then we just have one final piece before we let you go, Lainey. Tell us about this one. This is a total, again, shift from the first two that we've seen.
Yeah, so this actually was for that same gallery, and it was a black and white show, which, I obviously love color. And so it actually was a challenge for me to just do something in black and white. But I love texture also. My pieces are very textural. I really feel that our art, we exist around our art. And so we see it at different angles. It becomes a piece of us, a piece of our home. And so there's so much, there's pieces that are hidden. There's people in the windows. So it's one of those that I feel like, draws you in and, kind of gets you thinking about what's he doing, what's she doing, who's that person over there. So I like that. I like that about abstract art, that it's not the same for every person. People will look at it differently and see different things and feel different things. So I love that.
Fantastic. Well, Lainey, it's been such a pleasure, and thank you for joining us this evening and sharing a little insight into your work. Any final thoughts that you want to leave our community with, our followers, our wannabe collectors out there?
I think just that all emotions are what make us human, and that when we sit with those things that we feel like we're trying to run from, we go through them faster. So painting gets it out, writing, expressing, anything like that. Because I feel like anxiety and depression and all of that is on the rise, and art can help. I truly believe art can help. So
wonderful. And you heard it here first, folks. There are Lainey original works available for sale. So go check out her website, give her a follow on social media, and be sure to share her work. Lainey, I'm going to ask you to just stick around in the green room if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
And we are going to take a look at the virtual gallery again, folks. So I will be back with some more art on the other side. Do stick around, because obviously we are going to be presenting some awards in the not too distant future. So stay close, folks, and we will see you on the other side. All right, welcome back. Welcome back, folks. I see a few questions in the comments about how do I vote. You just need to drop the name of the person that you are voting for with the word win. We're going to be closing voting in 15 minutes, folks. That is 8:45. We're going to be closing down the vote. So if you want to get any last minute votes in, now is the time to do it. You still have about 15 minutes to do that. All right, so let's take a look at some more artwork. We are going to look at the work of Christopher Lewis right now. So let's kick this off. And we are looking at the beautiful work of Christopher Lewis. Let me just pull up Christopher's awesome information. Okay, Christopher Lewis is a self-taught artist that utilized digital painting as a new art form to express realism along with fantasy-themed works. With the love and support from his mother and father from a very young age, it allowed Chris to seek out his passion for art, and he's been featured in many art exhibits on the East Coast. Oil paintings are the foundation of Chris's passion, and from there he's developed over time into something that the world could easily take in by using this additional digital resource. So let's take a look at Chris's wonderful work. Love this koi in the corner here. Beautiful. We have the second piece here from Christopher. You can check out Chris's work on Instagram. It's at clew.art. And you can learn more about Chris's work. If you're interested in purchasing anything by Chris, you can get in touch with him directly. Drop him a direct message on Instagram. I'm sure he will be happy to hear from you. Again, this is original artwork that we're looking at here tonight, folks. These artists are bringing their A game. They are amazing. They're putting their work out to the public. This is, it's a brave thing to do. As artists, when we show our work in a public setting like this, it is an incredibly vulnerable experience to put your work out there. So I just want to really congratulate everybody who is here tonight doing just that. Again, this is Christopher's work. Beautiful, beautiful. This is the final work here by Christopher. Stunning piece. Love just the light that he's using here. Again, experimenting with this new tool, with these new amazing digital resources that we have at our fingertips. We're seeing a lot of artists moving into that space and a lot of artists integrating old techniques with new technology, which is just a really exciting thing to see. So yes, I agree, Dolphin. Beautiful aesthetic. Christopher, if you're watching, congratulations for being in the show tonight. We are delighted to have you. All right. And next up, we are going to look at the work of Mr. Michael Manning, who is a Conception alum. Michael has been showing with us. Michael has shown with us in person at our Boston show. We are a big fan of Mr. Michael Manning. Michael is also a previous award winner. Michael scooped an award for excellence a few shows ago, and we were delighted for him and super excited. He's doing amazing things right now in the NFT space. Michael's chosen to just share one work with us tonight, and I think you will agree with me that it is a pretty spectacular work. Just for some context here, folks, what you're looking at here is collage. Michael uses tiny little ripped pieces of paper to assemble these incredible pieces, large-scale pieces. He has a brand new studio in Massachusetts, and he's just doing some really amazing work. As I mentioned, he's venturing into this new NFT space where he's, really just looking at different dimensions, different forms of expression, and really just excavating his ideas. So let's learn a little bit about Michael for those who are not familiar with his work. Michael uses collage techniques to talk about his passions. He feels that there's an opportunity in the market to make a lasting mark on the medium of collage. He takes printed images, some from magazines and some from his personal life, and finds innovative and detailed ways to tell stories from his life. With collage techniques, Michael can mix media, talk about his actual dreams, and in a visual way, he can communicate how the latest and biggest modern stories from around the world influence his life. He's found a way to elevate photojournaling and give it a contemporary and never-before-seen flair. His art regularly touches upon the health of the ocean, identity, and mental health in the age of information. In this latest self-portrait titled You Title This, Michael, otherwise known as the Collage Don, emerges from the ocean and pulls the moon from the heavens to sing a lullaby to it. Michael is giant and made up of images, souvenirs, and a variety of items he collected from his trip as an exhibiting artist with NFT tips to Miami for the 2021 Bitcoin conference. His arm and hand are depicted as diamonds, and the giant pair of scissors are unable to cut through. A nebula of colors and printed images surround him in the sky, chronicling memories from the trip. Other special items you can find are M&M chocolates, Michael's actual plane tickets to arrive in Miami, and Michael's 2 actual wristbands that he wore to get in and out of all of the events for the week. Collage art is clearly a great way to creatively repurpose everything and anything. Michael's original collages on canvas are available for purchase. Just reach out to him on any of his social media accounts to inquire about pricing and delivery. And Michael, as mentioned, is also selling NFTs on OpenSpace and t-shirts on his official The Collage Don website. His website is in the comments, folks. Don't be afraid to reach out to Michael. Michael is a wonderful human being who we have had the pleasure of getting to know over the last couple of years. We love his work. We love him as a person. What he's doing is really pioneering, and his level of just execution and skill is just unparamount. It is incredible. His attention to detail, absolutely amazing, really dominating the collage space, the contemporary collage space right now. So hats off to Michael. We are delighted to share space with you this evening, Michael, and we cannot wait to see what you do next. All right, so next up, we are going to look at the work of, I believe, we're going to look at Manna. So let's jump on over to Manna's work. Stephen Manna Trink. Okay. Stephen Manna Trink is a visionary artist in the field of personal transformation. His passion to be of service illuminated his path that led to the embracement of the healing arts. Manna is a master hypnotherapist, epigenetic therapist, educator, author, vibrational artist, natural mentor, and spiritual teacher. His 27 years of heartfelt devotion, created on vibrational medicine, healing, and joyous living, inspire us to embrace a higher consciousness that is founded in love. Manna discovered the artist that resided within him during the time he was recovering from a life-threatening illness a few years ago. The reflection of the frequency of love that emanates from within his heart is present in all of his paintings. His art inspires passion, ignites creativity, and cultivates authentic self-expression. When we view his abstract paintings, the wonderful feeling of harmony, joy, peace, and celebration is ignited and experienced within us. Stephen Manna Trink first connects through a form of meditation to his higher consciousness. He shuns the use of brushes and employs only his hands and tempera watercolors to express his inner vibration of love onto canvas or specialized papers. The vivid colors, primary and high frequency, are chosen by spirit. They project radiance, vibrancy, and celebration. Manna quiets his thoughts and puts aside any structured ideas. He then invites the silent, emerging artist to guide his hands in the creation of the images that flow through him from beyond. Manna resides on the island of Kauai in Hawaii, where he spends his time painting and promoting his new book, Navigating the Winds of Change, a spiritual guide to embracing a loving life. And if you want to learn more about Manna's beautiful work or experience his book, you can do so by visiting his website at stephenmannatrink.com. Truly beautiful work, and it has the Hawaiian energy to me. It just is bouncing out of these works that just the nature, the richness, the color, the scents and smells of Hawaii. I feel like I'm experiencing them when I look at these beautiful, beautiful works. So wonderful to have you, Manna. If you're interested in Manna's work, again, do get onto his website. And also, don't be afraid to reach out, share the work. And if you are so inspired, drop him a vote in the comments as well. I'm seeing a lot of love for your work here in the comments from your fellow exhibitors as well, Manna. So congratulations on that. All right, so we are now coming up to the end of the show. We just have one more artist. We are going to revisit the amazing Ron Smith, whom we love dearly. So bear with me one second, folks, and we are going to get Ron's work up and front and center. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my friend Ron Smith, who is just an all-around wonderful human being and extremely inspiring artist. Okay, so let's get Ron's work up on the screen here. So Ron Smith, if you were here earlier this evening, you had the pleasure of getting to know Ron, hearing a little bit about Ron's story. Ron creates abstract art, but he also creates rural, beautiful work as well. So he has these two contrasting styles, which if you heard our conversation earlier when we first met, was very troubling to me as an art business coach, because I want everybody to find their groove, to find their niche, and just really mine into their ideas. And then Ron came along with these two very different styles and really challenged me as a coach. But Ron has mastered each of these individual styles, and he continues to just level up and just get better and better and better. So I am always very impressed with Ron's work. Here is one of Ron's beautiful abstracts. Ron is a musician. You can really feel those kind of frequencies, that musical energy bouncing off of these acrylic works on canvas. And then we have this more subdued work by Ron. Ron experiments a lot with texture. I have had the pleasure of seeing his work in person. The images do not do justice to what this work is like when you experience it in person. It has such a richness, very, very textures. He experiments a lot with the materials that he's using. Just stunning, stunning works. Ron says after 25-year hiatus, after breaking both wrists in a motorcycle accident, he finds joy and peace to finally be able to paint again. It was his son, Austin, who was also an artist, that gave him the inspiration to pick up the brushes again. This arduous adventure has given him the opportunity to put this journey back to visual arts on canvas and on paper, while using textures to add layers and depth to his works. Ron says, "My joy comes in the purpose. I believe my art should bring to our minds to remember, dream, and inspire." And Ron's work certainly does that. Ron is, as I mentioned, just a wonderful human, an incredible artist. And, Ron, I've had the pleasure of getting to know Ron. Ron is in my coaching program, and we have a group. We have group coaching sessions, usually weekly, bi-weekly. And Ron just brings such joy, positivity, and love to those sessions. And he is just, if anybody's ever feeling down, Ron is there to pick them up and just continues to inspire us. So Ron, keep doing what you're doing. We love you. Thank you for sharing this space with us once again this evening. And if you want to learn about Ron's work, check out Ron's website. It is in the comments right there. And go follow him on social media as well. All right, folks, we are at the end of the show. Can you believe it? Where is the time gone? We have seen artwork by 14 incredible, incredible artists this evening. What a pleasure. And we do have some awards to give away, folks. So it is about that time. I'm going to pop the little gallery on for one more time, and then we're going to meet on the other side, and we are going to give away some awards. We have a $250 cash prize. We have an art business scholarship, which is a scholarship full ride to my program, which is ongoing group coaching support, the whole Shazam. We're going to be giving some awesome stuff away in about 5 minutes, folks. So I will see you on the other side. All right, folks. I just accidentally kicked myself out of the studio. Everything is fine. We are back. Let's give some awards out. All right, first things first, we had a little competition in the comments section here for the Conception Arts goodie bag, which is this wonderful little bag right here, which has a Conception Arts hat, a t-shirt, and one of these fun books as well. We had a few people who were super close. One or two people missed one or two cities, or got a couple in there that were not quite right. But we have a winner. The winner is Melissa Antonio, who was the first to get 5 cities right. Barbara Calvano nearly got it right, but included London, which we have not yet done a show in London. We did a show in Liverpool, which is my hometown, but we've not quite got to London yet. Luis did get it right first, but we did forget to say no exhibitors were involved in this competition. So unfortunately, you missed out with that, Lou. I'm sorry. So that bag is on its way to Melissa Antonio. Melissa, make sure you DM us your address so we can get that on its way to you ASAP. All right. Let's talk about the audience award. There was a lot of votes tonight. The count is in. So who's getting this nice, shiny, beautiful, beautiful award? Any guesses, folks? Do we know who it is? Let me tell you something. There's also a $250 prize going to this person as well. Congratulations, Lainey Kaye.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. You had some serious support out in the...
I do have a lot of support.
We got some volume going here. Hold on one second. There's some serious support going on in the comments tonight. So hats off to you for spreading the word, getting your supporters here, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This was an amazing event. You did a great job.
Awesome. I'm very glad to hear that you enjoyed it, and congratulations once again.
Thank you.
All right. All right, folks. So we got 2 more awards to give tonight. What else are we giving away? So we are giving away an Art Business Scholarship. So who is our Art Business Scholarship going to? Well, unfortunately, I don't have the person live, so I can't do a surprise, haha, you've won the award like we normally love to do. But I do hope that this person is still watching. Let me tell you a little bit about this prize. So my Art Business Bootcamp program is essentially it's a soup to nuts, A to Z of how to run your art business, how to attract more clients, how to attract more collectors, how to build a business that is sustainable, how to market and brand your artwork. I've been running this program for about 12 months now, given away 3 or 4, I think it's 4 now, scholarships over the last year. And it's just been an honor to be able to do that. We have an amazing community. A couple of my students are in the comments. I see Dolphin. Amazing people in the program. We are very collaborative. We come together for in-person Zoom sessions, should I say. They feel like in-person now. It's an amazing program, and we just open it up 3 times a year. It is closed right now, but if anyone is interested in learning more, we will reopen it at the end of the year. So don't be afraid to reach out if you have any questions. And obviously you can ask any of our current students if you have questions as well. So we're giving a full scholarship away. It's a $1,300 program. It is an amazing program. Like I said, you're going to get support. You're going to get your fellow community there supporting you on a weekly basis as well. And I am thrilled to announce that the winner of our Art Business Scholarship is Kat Furrow. So Kat, who joined us this evening, I do hope you're still watching, Kat. Cannot wait to welcome you into Art Business Bootcamp. It's going to be such a pleasure to have you. I know you're going to bring something wonderful, bring us some joy, bring us some amazing, amazing qualities to the group, and we cannot wait to welcome you. So if you are watching this, congratulations, Kat. If you're catching this on the replay, congratulations anyway. We are very proud to present this award to you. So super happy. All right, so that leaves us with the big one. This is the Award for Excellence. This is voted for by our in-house jury. This obviously is not just this award, it is the bragging rights that come with this award as well. And again, the person who wins this award tonight is being shortlisted for our annual Awards annual art residency program, which is where we send one artist a year to the Chateau Orcavaux. If you Google this place, it is an artist dream come true. It is run by an amazing man named Ziggy Attias. It is in the countryside. It is a beautiful French castle. There's goats, there's lakes, there's hills, there's French food, there's cheese, there's wine, and there's just gorgeous studios where you can paint or do whatever you want for 2 whole weeks. We give you a $500 travel stipend. We also give you a $250 stipend to go and buy some art supplies when you're there from the fabulous French little art supply store. It's an amazing prize, folks. And I want the prize. I want to go. So we tried to make it as spectacular as possible. And we, like I said, we send one artist a year. We give away about 30 of these a year when we do our in-person shows. Obviously, it's a little different this year because we are not in person. So we only have, I think, 5 or 6 finalists for the entire year. So it's a small group, folks. So really, this is an incredible award. It is really giving potential for not just growth, not just opening the doors for this particular artist, but also shortlisting them for this opportunity. So we do not have that person here, which makes me very sad because I would have loved to see this person's face when they find out that they have won the award. But the next best thing that I can do, given that they are not here, is to put their work on the screen. So let's see if we can do that. And I am thrilled to announce that Lou Calvano is the winner of the Fall 2021 Conception Award for Excellence for this incredibly just unique experience, this unique concept that Lou has put together. Really groundbreaking work, something that we've not really seen at all. I see a lot of art, people. I see a lot of art, and I have not seen this concept. I think Lou is really onto something here, and we're excited to see what he does next. Lou, huge congratulations to you. We'll get this award to you ASAP, and obviously get you shortlisted for the France contest as well. All right, folks, this has been an incredible evening. Some amazing, just spiritual, joyful, experimental, a lot of art vibrations happening tonight, a lot of really thoughtful work. To the artists, thank you. You are all amazing. I am so honored to be able to share space and time with you. You continue to inspire me. Please keep doing what you're doing. Please keep showing your work. Your work matters. It's meaningful, and you are just amazing and incredible, and I can't thank you enough. To the viewers, thank you for your continued support of this show. We love you and appreciate you. Please go buy some artwork. Please support these amazing artists. If you're catching the replay, it isn't too late to invest. All of the artists' social media links, website links are right in the comments right here. Do a good thing today. If you're not going to buy art, go share or like your friends, your artists, any of the art that you see here. Please go and support them by giving them a little like or share. It goes a long way. Lou, I see you in the comments. Congratulations. I did want to get you in the on the live feed. If you feel inclined to jump in, Lou, I did send you a link. Let's keep it open for a minute and see if you can hop in. Yes, I can. All right. Get in here, Lou. Where are you? Where are you? Let's see. I love you right back, Michael Manning. What a great show, folks. Would love to hear your feedback in the comments. We managed to get through it almost without, too many technical hitches. There was a hot mic moment. I kicked myself out of the studio. We did not have any animal experiences tonight. No cats or dogs. The night is still young. Let's see. We're giving away, obviously, a copy of my book. There's a hat and a bag and a T-shirt on its way. Lou, let me know if you didn't get the link. I did send it by email to jump on into the studio. So let me know if you have any problems with that. Oh, here he is. All right. Get in here, Lou. Congratulations, Mr. Calvano. You are the winner of this award for excellence. How are you feeling?
I just can't believe it. I am overwhelmed. I am humbled. I I just don't know what to say. It was totally unexpected. Oh, and here's Barbara.
Your cat.
And our cat. There's Barbara leaving all those comments. That's her right there.
That's fantastic. Hi, Barbara.
Oh my gosh. Rachel, I don't know what to say. I mean, you and I have known each other just under a year now. I've been, member of the Artist Action Club, getting coaching and participating and learning. And and more than, how can I say this? More than just from a technical standpoint and from a business standpoint, but from a personal relationship standpoint, I just am so grateful for who you are and what you represent, and for the devotion and the love you give to all of your artists. You are the real deal, my dear. You are on top of the game. You know what you're doing. Your business sense, your artistic sense, your stamina. I mean, this is a long show. The way you listen to everyone, you are on top of every conversation. Your sincere desire to have everyone express their ideas, to be heard. Your willingness to have everyone be heard. It was masterful. And so you know how to bring out the best in all of us. And when I signed up for the show, it was just one of those things. I'll just, do it without any expectations. I came into this with no expectations, just to this is my first time ever doing it, ever joining the show. Just totally blown out. I'm blown away. Totally. So thank you.
Well,
thank you
Lou,
so much.
Thank you for those extremely kind words. The feeling is mutual. Working with you has been just a joy over the last year. Seeing you progress, seeing you just challenge yourself, just explore, and like we talk about excavating ideas. Seeing you get excited about this particular style and genre, and really just going all out and committing yourself to it has been just a joy for me as a coach to watch that.
And this is just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, there's a lot more. Those 3 images that you saw tonight, there's a lot more where that came from. There's a lot more. So it's coming, girl. It's coming.
I'm so excited. And I want to shout out Barbara too, because Barbara's been rocking the comments tonight, representing.
Yes, it is.
It's a family affair, and that's what we're about here. What is this? Yeah. We have a unicorn candle.
Barbara said, "This is the award you get in Calvano."
Well, look,
Barbara's an artist too. Barbara. When the show was progressing, right. Barbara's she's a painter, and and she's I'm getting inspired by listening to the show.
Well, maybe Barbara, you need to get your work on here as well. The door is always open.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you have a nice place to put this, Lou. It's going to be shipping this week, so get your address to us ASAP.
Okay.
And we will make sure that comes your way. So huge congratulations from all of us. We do have Kat with us. She just jumped on in, so we're going to try and get Kat on here as well. Big congratulations, Calvano family. We love you. We appreciate you. We cannot wait to see what you do next. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, Kat. Where are you at, Kat?
I have my trusted sidekick with me, and he and I are off, 1, first to the park, and then 2, I'm helping some ladies over the weekend. I'm managing a house this weekend, and so I'm off there. So my laptop, I had to pull it out of the back seat and yada yada yada. But my girlfriend's blew up my phone. I have no idea what happened. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, first of all. So we are thrilled that you're going to be joining us. Full ride scholarship for our Art Business Bootcamp program. I'm going to be teaching and sharing everything there is to know about building an art business, growing an art business, connecting with clients, building community. And we open the doors a little bit later this year. And we are so thrilled to award that to you tonight. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Awesome.
Very much.
All right. Well, please go.
Sorry.
I don't want
I
to force you to speak.
I literally am voice challenged. So when I get good news or I get emotional, that's a good way to shut a woman up, right? Give her good news. But no, I'm very grateful. I shared with, I had a girlfriend in the room, her and her son. She actually paints with me. And I shared with her I was going to reach out to you directly and ask for help. So I'm just very much in gratitude.
The stars aligned.
Very much.
Well,
Thank
Kat,
you.
we are really, really, just enjoyed the experience of meeting you, and are thrilled to, share your work and have this evening with you. And I cannot wait to welcome you into boot camp. It's a really special place, and I know you're going to fit in just fantastic. So, congratulations from all of us here at Conception.
Thank you very much, and thank you for what you do.
All right. Mwah.
Ciao.
All right, folks, that is it. We just hit the 3-hour mark. I am losing my voice. I'm going to go get a glass of water. And I just want to say big, big congratulations to all the winners tonight and all the exhibitors. You are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we will be back for a holiday show in early December. So until then, please do stay creative. Please do keep putting your work out there. We love you.